A lot of men write me who are challenged by sex desire. And they're asking me, what can I do? And the short answer is, become Krishna conscious. And the long answer is, the only way you can transcend sex desire is become Krishna conscious. So I think they understand that, so they don't always like that answer because it doesn't seem to answer anything. So yes, there's things you can do. But Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said very, very clearly, unless we become attracted to the amorous pastimes of Krishna and Radha, unless we develop the qualification and the purity to become attracted to those pastimes, we will never become free from sex desire. It's not possible. So there are things we can do to help us control ourselves. But ultimately, the things that we're doing to help control ourselves are just creating a path or a soil for us to be more Krishna conscious or engage better in Krishna consciousness so that we can become transcendental. And when we are transcendental, then physical desires will melt away. So what are some of those things we can do, and why are we so entangled in sexual attraction? Now, for men, sexual attraction is different or comes out a little bit differently than it does for women. But our whole society is very much bound by sexual attraction, trying to impress the opposite sex and trying to engage in sensual activities with the opposite sex. Men tending to be more sensual and women tending to be more relationship-oriented. So the challenge that men have, and I'm not just speaking to men because women need to be aware of this, the challenge that men have is they grow up in a society in which women have become sex objects. And so these poor men have not grown to understand what it means to be a man and a husband and a father as much as they have grown to think and see themselves as a man, as a sexual machine that engages with whatever woman he can get. Now, the more women you have before you're married, the harder it is to stay married. It makes sense if you think about it, because and the more sexual exploits you have, the more pornography, the more difficult it is to remain happy with one person. If you think about it, it makes sense. If you've had millions of dollars, it's hard to live on $1,000 a month. You have a standard. You're used to a certain standard. And it's hard to be chaste to one person if your whole life, growing up, you've had girlfriends or boyfriends, and the opposite sex has been made to look as only valuable in terms of how beautiful they are and how valuable in terms of them as persons who can gratify your sexual desire. So now we go to Canakya Pandita, who said, see every woman as mother. And this is very powerful when you consider what's going on in modern society and how women are portrayed and how difficult it is for men to see women as mother because they tend to see women as objects of their sense gratification. So what is the strategy? Well, again, it's a simple answer. See women as mother. But if you uncover that answer and see what lies underneath, you'll see that idea, women as mother, pretty much pulls the rug out on all the sex-crazed conditioning we get growing up. And the more you might say, but I'm not used to seeing women as mothers. It's not how I didn't grow up seeing that way. Okay, I know you didn't, unless you're Indian. And even young Indians, maybe not now anymore. So when you don't see something a certain way, how do you imbibe that samskar, that impression, that belief? You act on it. So I may not believe it. It may not be ingrained as an attitude, as a way of seeing, but I act as if they're a mother. And what does that mean? I respect them. And what does respect mean is I don't see them as objects of my sense gratification. That's what it means to see them as mother. I respect you as another human being. And ladies, you may think this is horrible or this sounds strange, but men have a difficult time respecting women as full human beings because of their tendency to see them as objects of sex, more like sex machines. So men, the more you respect women, the more your sex desire decreases. And the more you put yourself in a position to actually be a good husband and father, because it's all about service and respect. It's not about sexual enjoyment. That's not what Grihastha life is focused on. It's focused on service and respect. And if any man or woman enters the Grihastha ashram thinking this is the ultimate solution to my sexual needs, it may be the cause of huge problems in your marriage, because you may be neglecting the actual role and responsibility of a husband or wife. So for men, husband means respect my wife, honor her feelings, honor her needs, honor her desires. Some men have difficulty doing that because they've always demeaned women, and sexual exploitation and demeaning women, they can often go hand in hand. So this is what we're dealing with. So 2 simple points right in our philosophy. If you want to ultimately conquer sex desire, you have to transcend it by becoming attracted to Krishna's amorous pastimes. And on the way to becoming attracted, until we are attracted, to overcoming sex desire, is embody the analogy of women as mother, treat them as mother, understand that element of respect that's involved in a relationship with mother, and then you will see your sex desire is so linked to this conditioning and these beliefs that we've been programmed with since we're like 12. Well, actually, probably programmed since we're 5, but especially as teenagers. Hare Krishna.